So I want to go over a few etiquette and procedural things, so there won't be any real technical stuff on this one, although you could say a lot of it is technical. First one is going to the parallel ready stance. I'm going to do these all in different order. It doesn't matter. There's no high-ranking order of this stuff. It's just the one I think about. And then the next one. So this one is the parallel ready stance. In many martial arts, you'll see them drive their hands down into the ready position. In ITF Taekwondo, we don't drive our hands down aggressively. We bring our hands in a relaxed and easy motion so that we're not wasting energy. We don't need to build ourselves up and toughen ourselves up or build our safety to do that. We have to be confident, we have to show confidence. So by doing that, if I was just standing there and then it was called parallel ready stance 2B, I would just simply go to my parallel ready stance 2B. The next one I want to talk about is shaking hands. First of all, there's two things I want to talk about in regards to shaking hands. The first one is a junior belt should never offer their hand to a senior belt. I want you to think about, well, myself, I'm a 9th degree black belt, and all the students are junior to me. If I had 30 or 40 students coming into a class and they wanted to shake my hand, I'd be busy shaking hands forever. So the rule is you want to make sure that the senior offers their hand to shake. If they don't offer it, don't offer your hand. Now, the second part of the handshake is, and this is one that has an A and a B version, when you are shaking hands, there's two ways for the other hand to be placed. One is palm down, and the other is palm up. The palm down version tends to go a little bit, I think, to the negative side. You're talking about not trusting someone and their hand is open, weapons fall from it so they can't have it in their hand, things like that. The other way, and I like this explanation a little bit better, and General Choi is the one that explained it to me. He said that our friendship in ITF Taekwondo is so great, I have to support my other hand when I shake it. And it's because our friendship is so heavy. So the same thing happens when you see my open palm, so there's no weapons there, no weapons in this hand, and that's the whole purpose for shaking hands originally way back, is they were showing I have no weapon in my hand, I come in peace, right? Well, for ITF Taekwondo, by supporting it, you're showing how great your friendship is, how heavy that friendship is. You need to support it with two hands. That's the version that I appreciate, and that's the one that I teach my students. The next thing I'm going to talk about is wrapping your belt. We do a single wrap in ITF Taekwondo, so it only goes around your waist one time, and it has 3 reasons we do that. It's symbolic reasons. The first one is you're supposed to follow one master, so you shouldn't be training under this ITF school and under that WTF school and under that independent school. You're going to get all different messages and different ways to do techniques and get really confused, and in the end, you're going to suffer. So follow one master, follow their instruction. Now that doesn't mean you can never go to another instructor. You finish with this one, you move to another city, you go to a new instructor, but you listen and you learn from them. If they happen to tell you, your new instructor, if they happen to tell you something different than your old instructor, well, you have to listen to your new instructor and do what they say, because that's where you are now and you have to show them respect and loyalty. When you guys are doing anything, you have to remember to empty your cup, right? You have to learn. So there's not necessarily wrong things, there's different things. And even with that, there could be some wrong things, but you just have to understand, follow your instructor. That's the first reason. Second reason is victory with one blow. So we wrap our belt once around our waist to symbolize that we can have victory with one blow. Now in ITF Taekwondo, we're not going to stop with one blow. We're going to strike and continue, but hopefully one strike will be enough, or at least one of those strikes will be enough to end the confrontation. And the other reason that we are doing one wrap with the belt is you're going to set one goal, one thing at a time. Just like our belt system, for instance, if you're a green belt, you're thinking of blue stripe, you're not thinking of your red belt or something like that. So you set one goal and you go for that one goal. Once you have achieved that goal, then you can move on. I got a little cheat sheet here so I don't forget things. All right, guys, and the next thing we're going to talk about is turning left and turning right. So we're getting down into some nitty-gritty stuff here. The left is supposed to symbolize humbleness and humility, whereas the right signifies aggression or strength. So I want to think about this when we start our training and we're doing techniques up and down the floor. And let's say we're going to do a walking stance punch. we're going to start with our right hand because it's an attack technique. So if I was doing a block, say an outer forearm low block, I'd be starting with my left side. Now those are procedurals for training, but the left and right symbolism is humbleness and humility. So if I was going to turn away, walk away and turn around, I'm going to turn to my left. If I'm going to fix my uniform, let's just say I'm in class and it gets messy, I'm going to turn to my left and fix my uniform. Again, it's just a procedural thing. If you go to the right, you're not likely going to get in trouble or anything like that. But if you want to follow the proper procedures and protocols, turning to the left would be better. Next thing we're going to talk about is stepping backwards to a guard. Again, many other martial arts, they step forward to their guard. A very aggressive and intimidating movement. You're coming into someone's face. Well, in ITF Taekwondo, we do the exact opposite. We step backwards. Now, if you want to think about this, I don't really want to fight someone. So if I step in forward to them, I'm being aggressive. There's a very good chance that's going to initiate the battle. Whereas if I step away, I'm giving them one more opportunity to stop this altercation before it goes anywhere. Also, if you want to think about practicality, if I'm stepping forward, what if they attack at that moment? I'm now shortening the time and there could be a strike happening. Whereas if I step away, it's very much like a dodge and I'm leaving in case they attack at that moment too. So I'm giving myself a little bit more space and more time to react to what's going on with them. All right, and 3 steps backwards, right? So when you're ever leaving another partner or an instructor, perhaps you were talking to a black belt or something like that, we are going to take 3 steps backwards before we turn around. So if we're finished, we bow, 1, 2, and 3 steps, turn to the left, and away you go. Really, it's a polite thing to do. Instead of just standing there and turn your back right in their face, or you back away from them and then turn around. So it makes it a little bit nicer. Also, if there's a situation where there could be conflict, again, stepping backwards is giving yourself space and time in order to sort of give you just more announcement if they're going to attack you. So you want to make sure that you give yourself space, right? I think I've got one more, of course. Turning away to fix your uniform. So again, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I wasn't really talking about it, but if I have a messy uniform or my belt is undone, I need to turn away from the senior instructor in the room and fix my belt that way. And again, I would turn to the left, I would fix my uniform, I'd go out, tie my belt perhaps, and then I would turn back to face. Now, my students always ask me, well, what happens if there's black belts all over the place? Well, if you're surrounded, you can either move to the wall if you're allowed to. Perhaps you're not, you're in line or something and you can't just run off to the side and do this. Really what you have to do is figure out where the senior belt is. There he is over there, so I'm going to turn away from the senior belt and fix it, even if I'm facing another black belt. The black belts, they will be aware of the rule, they understand. They'll know where the senior belt is and they'll understand what you're doing, facing away from that senior belt. Now there's lots of other ones, but I don't want to keep droning on too long, and hopefully some of these were new to you or perhaps refreshers. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in below. I'd love to answer them if you have any clarifications needed or anything like that. Thanks a lot. Taekwon.